Hey, what's up, guys? Thought I'd just randomly just go live and record my thoughts on the market. Um, I feel like I've been kind of just waiting a little bit for some time now on seeing what's happening, what's not happening, when to get in some way, shape, or form. And I took a break for about a couple of weeks. Really highly recommend this. It's not like what I thought. It actually helps, actually significantly helps your mental state of being. Meaning, like, just delete Twitter for like a month. Don't worry, nothing will happen. I did it and then nothing happened. Nothing went anywhere. I don't think I even made it to a month. I think I did it for like 2 or 3 weeks, and it felt like, I mean, forever. I like journaled about it and like like how it's a new chapter, all this kind of stuff, and it kind of helps. Anyway, so I opened up a few tabs here and wanted to just share my thoughts overall what's going on. So let's go through them. They're no in particular order. Let's go into it. So Crypto Jack, this guy is one of the traders that I follow. If you guys have been watching this channel a little bit, you know that. And what I'm really looking for when I'm looking at these traders is like, is there any patterns usually, right? Between like the top one or two. And he's in the top five, I would say. And you can see that he's saying that, this is, can ETH follow a similar path to Neo? And if you see the pattern, this is a big down, then about here, similar thing, Neo had big down about here, and then it will crash down in this range, right? So he's alluding to the fact that ETH can crash down at least in this range. I don't think he's actually, I hope not, he's pointing there, $87 ETH. But I think what he's meaning is more like here, because that's this range. That's what I'm reading it as, at least. And that's around like, $340 to $800, stuff like that. Guys, if ETH goes back to like $67, $87, stuff like this, I really do think crypto's kind of dead. I do think so at that point. I do think so. Like, it might be saying like, if ETH goes to 87, I'm backing the, I think if ETH, like, if it goes to $400 or $500, I'm like backing the truck up. If it goes down there, I'm like not buying and just like actually just forgetting, and then trying to go do something new, find out what else is next in my life, so to speak. Not to be a Debbie Downer, it's already bear market, but that's how I think about it, right? I think there's a limit to how low these things can go. If this goes below the low of the previous cycle, that's just, I don't think that's like a that's not a time to back up type thing, right? And I don't think it's going to happen either way. Now, having that said, again, going back to patterns, is that Pentoshi, which I think is the best trader the human race has ever seen, still, my belief in his is stronger than ever. In fact, I even reached out to their this thing right here, try to be an investor, and I don't have enough money. I did not too long ago, but their entry is $500,000. That's minimum, and I would, if I had a couple of million, 2-3 million, I would definitely go into it. I trust him that much. But as you can see, where is the ETH one? Thoughts. I think this is ETH. Yeah, Ethereum. You see where it's at, saying thoughts 1177, and then here I think it says when take out lows. I haven't seen this kind of thing much, but as soon as he put it, I've been seeing it all over the place. I never seen we do this like diagonal thing, but here we are, and he's saying when take out lows. This guy's hit rate is pretty scarily accurate. So when I see this, it's basically like, oh damn, ETH is going lower. Basically, it's like, all right, okay, then is it gonna be another year, or is it gonna be quarter one? I hope so, quarter one. I mean, what we would hope for, and I think anybody who's in the market still hopes for at this point, is just a big capitulation, right? Like, fucking go down another 50-80%. I don't care. Just like just, you already took down most of my net worth. Just take it all the way down so I can be done with it, and then we can see what is left, right? What else is gonna fall? Is Binance really gonna fall? I don't know. Is Coinbase gonna fall? I don't know. Could it? I guess. I mean, FTX fell. The night before FTX fell, I was like, there's no way this is gonna go down. This is like basically one of the biggest exchanges ever. They're in lobbyists with blah blah blah. Nothing holds. I guess when a bear market is bad enough, you really sometimes just sit back and think like, what is Ethereum? Like, why did we even buy this stuff? Like, is this just some made up stuff like that? You know, why did we think this is going to replace the dollar in any shape or form? Right? Like, what are we using blockchain for other than speculation? Like, you know, you start to really get in that phase, right? And we are in that phase. And normally you'd think that, oh, that's the time to buy. But with the current macro conditions, sorry, my eyes are super itchy. I mean, I don't know, right? How long is this gonna take? So let's get into some kind of time frame. Okay, it can go new lows. That's where we're at. And you know, like that framework I think of, right? Like the traders tell us when to buy. They're only the when guys. They're not what. They're the when guys. And then there's the guys who called the bullish projects in last bear cycle before the bull market started. And those guys are the ones that will tell us what to buy, right? So if the top guys are saying things are going to go lower, then that's where it's going to go. That's how I trust it. And but here's this thing. I pointed out this tweet. Bagsy said, bear markets suck, but what sucks even more is giving up when it's most important to focus. That's what is the biggest fear right now. My biggest fear is not it going down more. That already took everything out of me, and I'm just kind of like immune to it. It's just like, all right, man, like what else? Like how much else are you going to take? Like it's already down so much, right? But the fear right now is somehow the market moves and weaves in a way where I just miss the entire upside that is yet to happen. Whether that happens in 2023 or 2024 or 2025, looks like the sentiment is for 2024-ish, 2025-ish, but who knows, right? I don't think there's been much signs or people that came out and said that it's going to take much longer, right? Pentoshi said that the time base is still yet to happen. Benjamin Cohen said that as well. Into the cryptoverse. So I'm in his thing. What is it? ShibGuide. All right. I mean, I have it on my phone. I'm not going to go into it right now. But basically, I'm in his thing for a couple of the... All right. I got in this thing. And I mean, really, you don't even need his paid thing. I think he even put it on his free thing. Ethereum standing on a cliff. So he agrees with this thing as well. Benjamin, I consider him pretty good at technical analysis as well. But I mean, Pentoshi, I mean, nothing like Pentoshi though. Pentoshi is just not normal. But you get the point. So a lot of the top guys still think things are going to go lower. And 2 of the top 5 guys think it's going to take a long time, right? Like Pentoshi. So unfortunately, he thinks time base is going to be a while. Benjamin also thinks the time base is going to be a while. The guy who doesn't think it's going to take a while is Few, F-E-W, right? And this is also in my top 5. I think Few is top 3. I would put him after like, I don't know, Pentoshi number 1, CryptoPalmer number 2, Few number 3, if I had to put a thing. And CryptoPalmer, I haven't looked at his stuff lately, even though I pay for his subscription. I spent about like, what is it, $600-800 per month in these subscriptions. I will maybe add one more since we're getting more into the bear. So I'll like dedicate like $1,000 per month max on just keeping some of these people who, for the paid content, whatever, who can help us capture, catch things when possibly close to the bottom. But he thinks we are looking to make all-time highs in 2023, which at this time feels not like it's going to happen, but you know how emotions can change, how fast things can change when things even go up a little bit, right? Solana, before it crashed, even when I was going up to like 38, I was like, this is it. Like everything was like, oh my God, I'm making the moves. I got 4 moves in a row, right? Before I lost everything again. So if things were to turn around even a little bit, right? Like Bitcoin goes back to like 25K, it starts to feel like holy shit. And but anyways, this is one of the only guys that think that we are gonna do an all-time high in 2023. Now, if you are somebody who's still like jumping on with FOMO, then what we tend to do is take, we cherry pick out of, I know I have like 5-7 people I follow. And if one guy says it's going to be 2023, I'd be like, all right, then 2023 it is. What if it happens? And I'm like going in heavy, but I'm not going to do that anymore. Not only don't I have a lot of capital, but also I think that's kind of stupid, right? Top guys, if they start to say it, I would say like if Pentoshi starts saying it, then yes. If Pentoshi and Few says it, yes. But out of the top 5, if it's only one guy saying it, then it's not enough, right? We need minimum 2 people for me to even put a little bit. So having that said, that's our when, right? When is looking like not anytime soon. That's it. A long-winded way, 10 minutes of taking to say, not there yet, guys. Still gonna take some time. Okay, I could have just said this, but like to show you my thought process. I'm coming to my conclusion. And if I haven't said it, nothing I say is financial advice, life advice, or any kind of advice whatsoever. You're talking to a guy who lost his money multiple times and doesn't even have the courage to come on a video once in a while because I have to go take a break and get my mental exposure in the right place. So if you're taking advice from this guy, I don't know. So anyways, now let's get into the what to buy. Now here's something interesting. We are in a point where I'm actually questioning everything, questioning the entire strategy, questioning everybody that called anything correct in the last cycle. Here's why. If I go into the following and we go into the top VCs, the guys who absolutely crushed it. Okay. Let's see if it lets me open these without, because sometimes it just gives me that error. It makes me do that puzzle thing for every single tab and it makes me go nuts. Hopefully it doesn't do that. It's loading. Okay, it's fine. Oh my God, thank God. It's fine. It's fine. All right. So here's the thing, guys. And let me start with the king of all, Anderson Horowitz. And I know they're getting some shit, like they're, doing also lobbyists and whatever, and they're not, they're funding the lawmakers and they're unfair and they're evil and they're only for the money and whatnot. Well, guys, guess what? I'd be a hypocrite if I wasn't saying I'm for the same shit. I'm here to make money. That's what I'm here to do. And if you're watching this, I think you're here to do too. So the fact that they're getting shit, people saying that, oh, they only want returns. They don't care about the decentralization and all this stuff. And if you haven't seen it, there's, I think, more channels now than ever that I'm seeing, like, really high up people that are really giving them shit. And what else can I say? I understand they are an investing firm. They are looking at returns, right? They're not the people who care about decentralization, and they pay. The whole thing's about them paying their way through to make sure certain things happen. They'll pay the whatever attorneys or whatever it is, like the lobbyists, the system, and get it use corruption to their advantage to make sure their protocols survive. Well, okay then. Then if you are going to invest into the things that they invest in, maybe you have a little bit more chance of working out than other ones that are not using corruption to their side. Just look at it as it is, right? Like, just look at it as it is. Do you want to be right or do you want to win? This is another way to say it. It's not an easy pill to swallow. Because in a way, you could translate into saying like, oh, Ship, so you're saying that do you want to be evil or I'm like, yes. In a way, right? If you want to bend it all the way there, then in a way you could say that. Because yes, I'm sure if you were to break down into percentage for me, right? How much do I really care about a world that's really decentralized, where we truly own our currency and have freedom of, freedom of value, whatever you want to call it, freedom to have your own money and value captured, and in a way that nobody can take it away from you. Yes, I care about that. But if you were to say that, do you care about that more than getting multiple millions? Then the answer would be no. And if you think that is for you, then you're in the wrong space. You're in crypto. Go be in, I don't know, whatever, a vegan or something, right? Like, we are beaten down in the depths of the bear market. And you're telling me that after all this, we're not going to have any upside and to be okay with it and purely do this for the ideological ideas of decentralization only? Then, my friend, I'm not in this for that. And I don't think most of you are either, right? It's a tangent. But they're getting a lot of shit. And I felt like, I read those tweets and I'm like, guys, if they're using corruption and they're spending billions of dollars, then they probably look at that as their strategy, right? They have the power to do so, right? They are an American company, and every big company after billions of dollars, if you tell me they don't do some level of, things to get advantage, then you're just naive. That's how the world works, guys, right? That's how the world works. It's just likely that they might get caught with some things more than normal because we are in blockchain. The transparency is higher. Anyways, that's my little rant. Now let's get into what is the actual scary thing. So if you see in the back end, right, the volume of investing, September 2, August 2, July 1, 2, June 2, 3, May 3, March, and then my point is, they're doing roughly 2 to 3 investments per month, generally. But since FTX blew up, this is the only one they invested in. Nothing in November, one in December. And this is a Web3 content studio thing, something to do with NFTs. Very interesting. Let's go into other stuff. You can see these guys. After November, one thing. It's create stories and NFTs. Okay, Paradigm. Nothing since November. Coinbase. Coinbase does one or two, but decentralized finance, something in DeFi. Name tag is something in NFTs. You see a pattern here, guys? What is likely to happen is there's a chance that these kind of returns that we saw with Solana never happen ever again, right? And the person who talked about this a little bit, I'm going to get you the name because he explained it way better than me. And I was just about to say it in a very profound way as if I came up with it, but I didn't. It's called Your Favorite L1 Was Overpriced. Okay. Go watch this thing. It's really good. Your favorite L1 was overpriced. And I wish I pulled it up to the exact point. Welcome back to another
episode of Bell Curve. And this episode is brought to you by our friends at Avalanche.
That's the funny part. Avalanche being sponsored when it's the your L1 being overpriced. But essentially the thing they were pointing out is that, holy shit, I almost fell. My chair rocked back a second. I don't know. Essentially, the thing that they're pointing out is that SBF was short on BTC and ETH of around like $10 billion. It's basically equivalent of an EIP 1559. This is the case they made. So if this kind of manipulation was to not happen, Bitcoin should have gone higher. Possibly 100K was on the cards. And he was short these things synthetically, and he was pumping Solana hard. That's why something could go from like 20 cents to like $250. Think about that. From the VC standpoint, 20 cents to $2 is a 10x. To $20 is a 100x. To $200 plus is a 1000x in like 6 months. Like crypto, you can get returns more than equities, guys, but 1000x in 6 months. It beat Ethereum's run up. And I don't think anybody would conclude Solana to be more valuable than Ethereum, especially right now, right? And the point is, since Solana was able to get such a leg up or such returns, it expanded the market's mind of what an L1 can do. So then also happened, oh yeah, then Luna can run, AVEX can run, all these other coins can run. That ran after Solana, right? Solana was already doing it, then went down in June, July, then it made its highs. And since they saw these returns, other ones caught up to those returns as well, because other people were like going with that same run. But if this kind of manipulation was not in the market, then apparently these kind of things would not be possible, right? These kind of runs would not be possible. You would have looked at ETH doing its 30, 40x is the main thing, right? And then everything else would be something probably like in NFTs. So the case I'm trying to think right now is not to be so thinking too fast into jumping into these L1s, right? Actually putting considering putting 10, 20% in it. I mean, we say these things, but if you look at my portfolio, it's like I say, yeah, Bitcoin, Ethereum majority, but since I left Bitcoin and then I was going to put maybe about 30, 50% Ethereum and another 50% in altcoins, but maybe not so. Maybe it is, after all that being said, ETH might be just the one. And it sucks that you have to go through so much analysis to come to the same conclusion. But, the saying just goes, in the dot-com bubble, you could have just bought Amazon or tried to find the next Amazon. Or you could have just bought it. And you could have bought it at the hundreds and you would have been even fine. You didn't get a single dollar, not in the double digits, not in the triple digits. You could have been fine in the single, in the double, and the triple digits. For ETH, that's $10, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, right? Around $1,000 is pretty good. $400 or $500 if it goes down there, it's great. And that might be all you need. So keep that in mind. The other thing is, going back to my point, is if it is so that all the runs, and A16Z, Solana is also one of their big positions. They didn't catch it before the bull run, but they put it in June. So in the middle of the bull run, right? When we, in 2021, went up, came down for the hiatus in the summer, that's when they put into, they went into Solana, and Solana's still there, right? And if you look at their stuff, you'll see that, I mean, they're damn good at what they do. They have like about a 50% hit rate. For crypto, I mean, what else do you need? If half the tokens you put in does 10x, that's what they did. I made a video about them before. I mean, you're basically printing money, right? But the problem is now that if a lot of what happened was due to these kind of corruptions and synthetic shorting the bigger assets and longing these kind of other coins, and if these things are not going to be available anymore, then does it mean that a lot of the stuff that they put money into is kind of not like safe anymore, if you know what I mean, right? Like if they're also playing in these kind of manipulation in the background and it's not going to fly anymore moving forward because regulation is coming in, transparency is going to be coming in, these are things that, like, light's going to be shown in these kind of like trenches, then that they're not going to be being able to play in these kind of games anymore, then what is the L1s? What are the other coins that make sense for next run? I think the answer is wait patiently and see what the hell else do they keep investing in. I mean, these are the guys that have billions, right? They raised a $4 billion fund in 2021. Or was that I think that's in 2022, guys. I think that was like early 2022 that they raised this, if I'm not mistaken. I gotta go see it. Let me see. A16. This is really important. A16Z crypto fund, 4 billion. Let's see. Yeah, May 2022. Holy shit. So they probably have a lot of this money still to deploy, and they have slowed down their deployness. And yeah, Uniswap was one that a bunch of people that invested in, which kind of defies and it still stands, because DeFi, I think, is one that some of these people are saying that are going to be standing strong. So Uni token is one that I would be looking into now, that wasn't even on my radar. My radar, if you guys know, it's been like Solana, Near, Avalanche, and these kind of like L1s. But now with this thing coming out, I'm like thinking ETH and maybe DeFi, go back to basics, stuff like that, right? The question is, the whole thesis is being questioned now, right? I'm going to have to probably rethink the entire thing. And a big part of it is just waiting, because I want to see what they're investing in, because the pattern that we just looked at is NFTs. And maybe a lot of you guys don't like this. I personally don't like it either. Like, I wish we could just stay in tokens and coins. I don't know why, but NFTs could be where the other alpha is. You see, let me show you guys something. In 2020, if you looked at this page, because I looked at it in early 2021, because I was trying to find, I don't know how I came across them, but I was like, okay, looking at their investments, what do they invest in? And I was researching pretty heavily in the summer of 2021 for their calls, because in 2021 we already got a taste of what calls they got right, and I was researching, and what I realized is they had OpenSea from way before back then. But in early 2021, when I looked at them, the way I researched was, I'll see the thing and then see if it has a coin. If it doesn't have a token, I wouldn't even research into it, because that's how I was thinking until NFTs really took off. Then I'm like, oh my God, if I knew OpenSea is going to be one of their big things, I could have studied it and understood that NFTs is a big trend and then known how to partake in it. You see, before you understood NFTs, you didn't even know how to even buy NFTs. The fact that you could go to these, OpenSea and buy something, I didn't even know was a thing. I only knew coin market cap. And if something wasn't a coin, I wouldn't get in. And now I'm saying this, it sounds kind of stupid, right? But if you kind of think back in time, it's probably the case for all of you, unless you caught punks when it was like, 1 ETH and ETH was like $200. If you're one of those, then great. You're a great investor. But if you weren't, then you were probably the same. That if you don't find something in CoinMarketCap, you don't know how to invest in it. What is my point? My point is, it is likely that the next thing right now is taking place somewhere in the market, right? Pretty sure. Think about it. What is the chance of that happening? It's pretty high. Somewhere in the market right now, something is brewing. That is going to be an epic, big scale thing in the next cycle that we don't even know that category, right? Last time it was NFTs. When did it start? Well, 2017. In the bull market and the peak of the bear market of the last cycle was when the groundbreaking thing of this cycle that just passed was started. In 2017, punks were brewing and they blew up in 2021. So what was brewing in 2021 and 2022 that nobody was talking about? Could it be AI? Possibly. A lot more people are talking about it, right? Jake Brookman, one of the guys that caught a lot of this shit, is going ape shit on AI and talking about it left and right. And he's using his personal time to go crazy about GPT and all this stuff. All in podcasts is talking about it. I mean, it's pretty being talked about. It's not like it's in the completely in the, how do you say? It's nobody's talking about it, but it's like it's being spoken about. But what's not obvious, which is never obvious, is what do you buy? How do you monetize this? Right? The closest thing I can think of right now is look at AI and look at some of the softwares and use that for my business. Right? We started using Jasper and it's crazy. Like I'm actually using that shit. Like this is not just like a buzzword to me, right? Normally we used to write content for clients and it would be averaging around $10 per content, right? If you were to go to a content service, you pay around $30 to $40 per 1,000 words of content for any topic. Generally, that's the going rate, right? So our roofing, let's say I serve roofers, right? So if they want content, we bundle it in. And we'll be charging them, I charge them $1,500, $2,000 per month for overall package, and they get like 2, 3 pieces of content per month. But my cost would be around like $10 to $15 per piece of content, because I get a writer that pays like 100, 150 a week. They're in the Philippines and they write like, 1 or 2 articles a day. Long story short, with Jasper, they have a magnitude of 10 times, literally exactly about 10 times. They went from making 1 to 2 articles a day to writing 10 to 12 articles per day. Same writer, but with AI. So if you don't know Jasper, this is a tool that basically got trained on all the content in Wikipedia, and you can just give it a sentence to write, and it just writes based on that. It's unique content, and it's great. And you can give it like a little bit of information about what you want to talk about, what the topic is, what's the questions you want it to answer, and you can write about that. And then the writer has to, fix something up a little bit, get the structure right, then actually go post it and take time with the picture and whatever. And the next thing I'm going to look at is pictures. Normally they go find unique pictures. Maybe they have to use Photoshop for the thumbnail, but now you can use Dape. So I haven't used that yet, but I'm looking for it. But the point is, the thing I can think about for AI right now is actual productivity increase, like a 5 to 10x increase in productivity for entrepreneurs. But that is businesses. What about how is it going to play a part in NFTs? That's where we have to keep an eye, possibly, where I'm thinking. So that's another thing. Let's see what else. Male thinks Near is going to bottom at 81 cents. It's like $1.30 right now. Throwing 50K into R&D are at 20 cents. It's like 40 cents right now. So, he thinks it's going to go down. And he's putting, I think, like limit orders for these things. He has conviction all the way back into 2019 for these kind of stuff. And, this is his portfolio: ETH, Sol, Near, True, stuff like. But this is in June, so be careful. Sol is no longer a big part of it. I don't think so, because he said Sol is, SBF ruined Sol for him not too long ago. So you get the point. But that's it, guys. I don't think there's much more to say, honestly. Like, I could break down what these guys are investing into. We could do it, but what's the point? I want to see a pattern in their investing. Right now, these guys are kind of just holding back. They're not even getting into heavy. I'm waiting for them to go a little bit more heavy into their normal phase, start investing 2-3 times per month and deploying a little bit more heavily. These are the top investors in the world. Don't forget that, right? If what they're investing their money into is something you don't like and you don't think it's going to take off, then I would ask you to reconsider. They come first, and then I use the list of people in Twitter to back that statement up. And then we're going to use our traders to tell us when to get in. So with that being said, I'm checking out. The next video is going to be probably me completely rethinking my entire investment strategy and portfolios, how I'm going to go about this entire thing. But until then, guys, I'm just working on my skills as a salesman. I'm literally spending time learning a little bit more about sales. And I got a bunch of books about hiring, and that's what I'm getting into. Just like how to hire people better and stuff like that. And if anybody wants to, get a video on that, I can surely make it. I don't think anybody's interested, but it has nothing to do with crypto. But that's what I'm spending my time into. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon.